a letter arrived at the police station in Lahore, Pakistan. It mentions that he or she killed 100 children, bodies dissolved, nothing to be found. And at the bottom of the letter was the address of the person who sent the letter. They wanted the police to show up. They weren't hiding. The officer who received the letter went to the home address, knocked on the door, came back without making any arrest. He told his superiors that this person can't kill 100 children. This person's a nutcase. This gave the person another month of committing the same crime they had committed. My name is Sabit, and you're watching Sabit Explains. And this is the story of Javed Iqbal. Lahore, 1999. Pakistan's one of the busiest cities. Over 6 million people living there. A city where children disappear all the time and nobody asks the questions. General Pervez Musharraf had just seized power in a military coup on October 12th. The economy was bleeding under US sanctions imposed after Pakistan tested their nuclear weapons. The police had bigger things to worry about than missing street children. And there were thousands of them. Boys who ran away from their home, slept near the streets, slept near the garbage dumps, begged near monuments. When their family went to the police, they were told, go check with your neighborhoods. Go check the streets. He must be there. No protection, no safety, and no noise about where the children went. July 9th, 1999. Faisal Razak, a 9-year-old child, left home to fold card boxes at a local workshop for a few hundred rupees. He never came back. Shakil Hassan, 13. Faraz Khan, Taslimullah, Abdul Majid, gone. One by one, swallowed by the city. And then there was Ijaz Muhammad. His family called him Kaka. Kaka and his older brother were teenage masseurs, wandering around Lahore's park in worn sandals, clinking small bottles of ointment. They were Shia Muslims. They wore ankle bracelets studded with shiny stones. One afternoon in October, two boys approached them in the gardens of Minar, Pakistan. They said, our boss needs a massage. He'll pay you double if you come with us now. The two boys followed the two men. They followed them down a narrow alley to a house at 16B Ravi Road. Kaka went inside while his brother waited, and then his brother left for another job. This was their usual way of working. They split up for work till they met again at night. And that was the last time anyone saw Kaka alive. Nobody connected the disappearances because these weren't the children of powerful families or people in powerful positions. These were invisible children. Their family weren't that affluent. And in 1999, Lahore, the invisible ones had no one fighting for them, except one man who was using their innocence and their unfortunate livelihood as a way to do their crimes. Javed Iqbal Mughal is not someone you'd expect to be a psychopathic criminal. Born in 1961 in Lahore, 6 of the 8 children of his parents. His father was a successful businessman and he lived a lavish life. His parents provided them with everything a child can think of. And Javed's parents always supported him and his brothers and sisters with all kind of ambitions that they had. At the very young age of 19, Javed was able to set up businesses by the support of his father, which tells you that how successful he was and how important his family might have been, that they were fortunate enough to set up businesses for their children. When his father died in 1993, Javed inherited their house, their factories, their cars, and all the assets that his father left behind. He had wealth and time and a disease which was in his mind that he doesn't even realize. He opened up a video game store in Shadbagh, the first of its kind in the area, and attracted a lot of young children. He used to let them play there, and the parents were also willing to send their kids over there since it's in the neighborhood. A little later, the parents of the children started to be suspicious. And when they grew suspicious, Javed opened up a different businesses as well. He started to open up a gym, a discount store, and multiple others so that they wouldn't suspect him of some sort of nefarious activities. For the reluctant children, he had a trick. He used to leave a 100 rupees note on the ground and then observe if some children would pick it up. If someone did, he would take them and accuse them of stealing. He would drag them to the back of his store office, and God knows what he would do. Remember the house I mentioned, 16B Ravi? That house was built like a Russian matryoshka doll. Rooms, and inside rooms. A maze nobody could solve and navigate alone. That innermost room was the last thing the 100 boys saw. That innermost room was the torture cell that Javed Iqbal used. He strangled them with iron chain, he dismembered their bodies, he dissolved what remained in hydrochloric acid and poured remaining stuff into the Ravi River. And then he wrote it all down. Name, ages, their photographs, and the dates. As if he was doing some sort of project. He kept all the accounts like an accountant would in a business. Because in his mind, this was a transaction, a debt being repaid. So far, listening to the background of Javed Iqbal, you might think that one night he must have lost it. But that's not the case. The thing is, in this case, Javed Iqbal never lost control of his mind. This was all planned according to him, and that is the most scary part. Javed Iqbal chose 100 children, not 99, not 98, or 101, exactly 100. He himself mentioned, I could have killed 500. Money was not a problem, but the pledge I had taken was of 100, and I never wanted to violate it. So, you might ask, where did this pledge come from? Now let's get back to 1985 and 1990. Remember when I said that he opened a video game store and the parents got suspicious about the children being there with him? Well, during the time of 1985 to 1990, Javed had been accused of sodomy against young boys in the neighborhood. But due to his family's wealth and their power in the neighborhood and in the society, the police didn't investigate that much. He was humiliated in the neighborhood and in the society, but no law and order took serious account against him. One night, as he was known to be a sexual predator against children, some local people beat him up, trashed him, and left him injured in his neighborhood. This affected Javed deeply in his psyche. He went to the police officers, the same local police station where he sent his letter later. He went there, told his story, but no action taken by the cops. Because in the eyes of the cops, this person was a criminal. This person was accused and known as a sexual assaulter by the police themselves. Thus, they didn't decide to take action against the claims that Javed made about being beat up in the neighborhood. This broke Javed's confidence in the society. And when he returned home, he saw that his own mother was crying and was in shock about how her sixth child was being treated in the society and what sort of name he had made of himself in the society. This pain wasn't too likely to be taken by Javed's mother. She had passed away from this shock. She had a heart attack from this pain. And that left a mark in Javed's mental map. He took a pledge within himself that due to the insufficient support from the law and order and from the continuous disrespect from the neighborhood, his only love, which was his mother, had passed away. This wasn't an easy death for Javed. He took a pledge of killing 100 children so that 100 mothers would feel the same pain and shock that his own mother felt. This is not normal. The pledge that Javed took comes from that pain that he faced in his life, and they treated him as a criminal. He wrote to himself, and I quote, "My mother cried for me, and I wanted 100 mothers to cry for their children. One grief, 100 deaths." All in the mind of Javed Iqbal. By November 1999, the count had reached 100. Javed wrote in his diary, and I quote, "My count has reached 100. He was a handsome 16-year-old Pathan boy from Peshawar. With the grace of God, my mission is complete. Tears rolled down my cheeks." He wept when he wrote this journal. And later, he wrote the letter, a 32 pages handwritten letter describing all the 100 crimes he had done and confessing. He sent this letter to the Lahore police station and also one of the leading news media agencies, directed to the chief editor. As the Daily Jung, which is the Pakistani leading news agency, had received the letter, it included all the names of the children, their age, and the details, and also included the address of Javed. When the editor found the letter, he quickly sent 2 reporters. At the time, the Lahore police station was led by DSP Tariq Kambo. And Mr. Tariq Kambo, immediately when he saw the letter, he went to Javed's house. He saw Javed, took it lightly, and just came back to the police station saying to his superiors, "This guy can't kill 100 children. He's a nutcase." But the letter had also gone to the Daily Jung office, which the police were not aware of. And when this letter reached the newsletter office or the newspaper office, 2 reporters from the Daily Jung went to the address mentioned in the letter. They knocked on the door. Javed had left. They tried to look for entry points. They couldn't find one. So they jumped over the fence and went into the house. And what they saw was crazy. At first, they had a hard time navigating the whole house. As I mentioned, it has rooms into rooms into rooms into rooms. And when they reached the final room where Javed used to have his torture cell, they found big drums, blue-colored drums full of acid. One of them had a half torso. Inside the blue canisters, children's clothing bundled in corners, a chemical stench had hit before anything else. Once they saw that whatever mentioned in the letter was coming to light slowly by slowly, 2 of the reporters got scared. They jumped back over the wall and just straight ran. They went back to their offices, explained to their editor-in-chief about what they saw, and the next day, the Daily Jung released the news on their front page in December 3rd, 1999. 57 photographs of missing boys, all wearing smiles, published beneath the headline. And within hours, Lahore erupted. Mothers recognized the kameez and shalwar of their sons laid out on police evidence tables. 2 large blue drums and more than a dozen plastic cans were recovered from the house. Inside one of the drums, a human torso. In another one, 2 feet severed at the ankles and a chopped hip girdle. The medical examiner confirmed these were boys between the age of 13 to 17. One of those feet had an ankle bracelet, shiny shoes strung on a thin cord. That was Kaka. Pakistan had never seen anything like this. The whole country had been shocked. All the newspaper, all the news media started talking about this story. It was the story of the month. The largest manhunt in the country's history was done. Drainage tunnels, caves, hideouts, Javed Iqbal's face on every newspaper and TV bulletin. 4 of his teenage accomplices were arrested in Suhawa. One of them, a boy named Billah, who died in police custody. Police say that he died by suicide, but forensic medical exam finds that he died in police custody due to torture. The same cops who let Javed go when he confessed killed the accomplices one by one out of anger and out of superior pressure from the police force itself. And on top of that, the mounting pressure from the public. For a month, Javed hid in the same city where he had spent his entire life. And then on December 30th, 1999, in the Daily Jung office, a man trying to walk and lurking comes into the front office of the Daily Jung and says that I am the killer of the 100 children. He didn't go to the police station. He didn't go to any family member. He went to the news agency because he knew that if he went to the police station, he would be killed immediately. Javed was taken into custody by the police and his trial was set. The trial lasted over a month. Inside the courtroom, Javed Iqbal did something unexpected. Javed calmed down and right from the beginning pleaded not guilty. The same man who confessed his crimes to the police and also sent letters to the police and the news agency started saying that it was conspired against him. He wasn't the person who did those crimes. The same man who had walked into a newspaper office to declare his guilt now claimed innocence. It didn't matter because in 1999, when he was caught, all the evidences were against him. And on March 16, 2000, Judge Allah Bakhsh Rancha delivered his verdict to a packed courtroom. Guilty and 100 counts of murder. And then the sentence that shook the entire world. The judge said, and I quote, "You will be strangled to death in front of the parents whose children you killed. Your body will then be cut into 100 pieces and put in acid the same way you killed the innocent children." This was to be carried out in public at the Minare, Pakistan, where the 2 kids, if you remember, were taken away by the accomplices of Javed. Outside the courtroom, in whole of Pakistan, people appreciated this judgment. And to some extent, faith in the judicial system of Pakistan was restored. A little bit, not that much. And the people were saying outside, and I quote, "An eye for an eye, one life for 100 lives," end quote. After the judgment was given by the court, the government intervened and tried to block it. The Interior Minister of Pakistan declared it as a violation of human rights, and the Council of Islamic Ideology ruled that dismembering a body is against the Islamic law. Javed Iqbal was sent to Kot Lakhpat jail. The families of 100 boys were told to wait, and they are still waiting. October 8, 2001. 8 months after his conviction, Javed Iqbal and his accomplice Sajid Ahmed were found dead in their individual cells, both hanged with their bed sheets. Same night, separate cells at the same time. The official ruling: suicide. But autopsy sources stated that marks on both their bodies were consistent with strangulation, then self-hanging. Additional injuries were found on Javed's body. In the months before his death, he had written multiple letters to officials saying that the environment of the jail was very negative and he was forced or being told by the people around to commit suicide. He also complained about the inhuman torture that was being done to him and his accomplice. No independent investigation was ever opened and the file was closed. Was it a suicide, or was their sentence carried out quietly, without cameras, without courts, and without the international embarrassment of public execution? That question has never been answered. This tells us about what sort of people might be living among us in the society. Even people from affluent families and good education and good backgrounds have had history of committing such crimes. In 5 months, 100 children disappeared in Lahore, and no one in power noticed. Not the police, who had Javed's name for close to a decade about similar crime. Not the press, until they climbed the wall and checked out the crime area. Not the politicians, who promised to take care of their societies and neighborhoods. Because these were invisible children. These were not made invisible by Javed Iqbal. He simply identified it and relied upon it to complete his so-called pledge. This tells you a lot about how the human society operates. That's the part you should be worried about, because not just the monster, but the world that made it so easy for him to be one. These are children who were really young, innocent, made to work because the society and the elders of the society had failed to provide them a childhood of love and care. Right now in our world, children are the most vulnerable groups of people. Sickness has taken over a lot of the regular peeps that you see in your day-to-day lives. It's really sad and really makes you speechless about where this world is going right now. That even children are not safe. Until we're able to provide safety for our children, we cannot expect a prosperous human race. We should all take care of our children and not take lightly any sort of warnings like such. And in today's society, things are only getting worse. And until that changes, the conditions that made Javed Iqbal possible still exists. My name is Sabit, and you've been watching Sabit Explains. See you on the next one.